In Brockton, we swing for the fences so we can touch home.
We coach in Brockton to instill the teamwork that builds a great winning tradition.
We do business in Brockton because here you can find a taste of home away from home.
We keep our company in Brockton because we love this city.
I study and learn in Brockton to achieve my goals.
When Brockton is home, everything is within reach.
It's great. I just want to personally thank all the parents, the families, the coaches that are here for keeping baseball alive in the city. The reality is that we don't have as many kids playing baseball as we did 20 years ago or 30 years ago, but it is a great sport. It is part of the heart and the fabric of this city, and I think every kid in the city ought to have the opportunity to play baseball. But unless we have families that will support their children and coaches that will volunteer their time and parents that'll do the fundraising, we don't get to have an opening day like this. So I just want to please personally thank each and every one of you for keeping Brookfield strong, keeping baseball alive for the kids in the Brookfield section of the city. And my final words will be, play ball! Hi, I'm Brockton Mayor Bill Carpenter, answering the call of Stairway to Recovery in joining Governor Baker's campaign to end the stigma of substance abuse disorders here in Massachusetts. I strongly support the State Without Stigma campaign, and I'm calling on Boston Mayor Marty Walsh to join the campaign to end the stigma of substance abuse disorders. Together, we can end stigma.
The Office of Mayor Bill Carpenter has announced a variety of new ways residents can submit tips anonymously and communicate with neighbors via telephone, internet, texting, and apps that are available on your cell phone. If you want to contact the Brockton Police Department anonymously, you can do so directly by calling them anytime at their tip line, 508-941-0244. You can also send a text to CRIMES, or 274-637. Text Brockton at the beginning of the text, followed by the violation you see that you want to report. These features are available to anyone with access to a phone, cell phone, or computer with internet access, and all of this information can be found on the Brockton Police Department's official website at brocktonpolice.com. Outside of directly contacting the Brockton PD via call, text, or online message, there are a few new apps you can download to your smart and iPhones to report crimes and violations you see anonymously. My PD is an app you can download to your phone where you can submit a tip, ask the Brockton Police a question, or even commend an officer for doing a good job. You just click on what you want to do and fill out the forms provided electronically. The forms allow you to get as detailed as you'd like while submitting a report to best give the Brockton PD the opportunity to respond to your issue. You can also get My PD without downloading the app at mypolicedepartment.org/Brockton-police-department and fill out the information online just as you would the app on your phone. There's also Nextdoor, an app and website at nextdoor.com that is a private social network for you, your neighbors, and your community. It's an easy way for you and your neighbors to communicate. You can use this to talk to neighbors about anything community related, tracking down a trustworthy babysitter, asking for help looking for a lost pet, and finding a reputable mechanic to work in your car. Quickly report a neighborhood break-in, organize a neighborhood watch group, do it all with the Nextdoor app. And last but not least, See, Click, Fix. This is a feature that gained popularity following our most recent winter as a way for residents to report potholes on city streets that needed to be filled. However, it's much more than a resource to report potholes. You can download the See, Click, Fix app on your phone or go to the City of Brockton's official website at brockton.ma.us and click the See, Click, Fix button on the left-hand side of the page. You can report non-emergency issues to the City of Brockton using this app. Everything from abandoned property, to traffic signal issues, to graffiti, to loose animals, to snow removal. You'll receive an email updating you on the status. These are just some of the new ways the City of Brockton is introducing technology to connect with its residents and make solving problems easier. And remember, the City of Brockton is online 24/7 at its official website, brockton.ma.us.
Hi, my name is Officer Rosie Vasquez Brown, and this is my partner Elisa Fons from the Brockton Police Department. And we're answering the call of Annie from Stairway to Recovery, along with Warren Capiello from Mayor Bill Carpenter's office, to join the State Without Stigma campaign.
We strongly support Governor Baker's State Without Stigma campaign in regards to substance abuse, and we're calling out for the fire department to join us in this campaign.
Together we can help end stigma.
Well, good morning and thank you, everyone. It's great to be here at the Davis School. There are a lot of things that make the Davis a very special place, and I can see that in all the young people that are here today. Congratulations to the peer leaders, the band, and the choir that all did a great job for us this morning as part of the Arbor Day celebrations. And this is a really important day, and I'm glad we can celebrate it with you today because, as Pam Gurley said, you know, being a tree city is easy when you're out in the country, but when you're a city like Brockton, we really have to make a commitment to it. And we show that commitment again today by the planting of these two beautiful trees here at the Davis School. And we know that it's a great learning moment for the students too, to realize how important the trees are in terms of not just preventing soil erosion, but for making the air that we breathe better quality and cleaner, and the role they play overall in our well-being. So it's a pleasure for me to be here today, and my official duty with you today is to proclaim today as Arbor Day in the city of Brockton. So I will read you the formal proclamation that I will present to Principal Campbell when we get through this. Proclamation. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for planting trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now recognized throughout the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community, and whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. So now therefore be it resolved, I, Bill Carpenter, as mayor of the city of Brockton, do hereby proclaim April 29th, 2016 as Arbor Day in the city of Brockton, and I urge all residents of the city to celebrate this day. Signed and sealed by me today, the 29th day of April, and it's my privilege to present this to our principal. Go, darling.
That's great,
Thank
Bill.
you.
Oh, that's
All right.
wonderful. Thanks so
All
much.
right.
That's wonderful.
In Brockton, we swing for the fences so we can touch home.
We coach in Brockton to instill the teamwork that builds a great winning tradition.
We do business in Brockton because here you can find a taste of home away from home.
We keep our company in Brockton because we love this city.
I study and learn in Brockton to achieve my goals.
When Brockton is home, everything is within reach.
So the Champion Plan adopts many of the principles of what Gloucester has done with police-assisted recovery. So it initiates anyone can walk into the Brockton Police Station, walk right up to the desk and just indicate that they're seeking assistance for drug or alcohol addiction or treatment. And immediately a phone call is made by the police over here to Stairway to Recovery. Stairway to Recovery is a peer support group, folks with recovery who are helping other people in recovery. And it was a natural marriage when we looked at what, this was something we did a little differently than Gloucester. Gloucester uses volunteers called angels. We already had folks right here in the downtown that were already providing this type of support for people. So they agreed, and I'll let you know that almost everyone here is a volunteer. So what these folks do is a couple volunteers will go right over to the police station, greet the person, bring them back here, help support them during the time period while looking for treatment. And then we've got 5 or 6 treatment partners that have agreed to do their best to get us a bed whenever we need one. And so the folks here, the volunteers here are trained in telephone intake, providing assistance, helping the person. Another one of our key partners is Brewster Ambulance, who's our city's ambulance service. They are providing free transportation from here to whatever treatment facility we can find a bed at. So that could be right down the street at High Point here in Brockton, but it could be Westboro, Spectrum, it could be Gosnell down the Cape. But the idea is that someone can actually come to the police seeking assistance and then get this type of support and get into a treatment bed. And Corin, you're gonna have to help me with the numbers. Is it 40 that we're up to now?
41 as of
So
today.
tell us a little
41.
bit, can you tell us a little bit about the program on a day-to-day basis here?
Sure, I think Stairway, Ephraim
Yeah,
can
yeah,
help me a
Frank,
little
good.
bit, but
Okay.
Stairway to
on up
Recovery
here,
does a
Frank.
great
Come on,
job.
come on
We
up
have
here.
some of our individuals here as well that do a great job and
Great.
It's
work
so
very
much to
hard.
talk about it. What you need to know?
Well,
How many people-
what's your name?
Ephraim Baez. I am the program director. We opened the doors in Stairway to Recovery in May 2008. We have served around 1,700 members has gone through the doors of Stairway to Recovery. When the mayor approached me with this idea, I said, wow, we've been doing something like it, but not as the Gloucester program. So it was a mutual agreement with the peers, because the peer had to say a lot what's going on in the center, because we use the participatory process. This is a community in recovery who decide what's going to happen here at the center. So when we brought the idea to the community and say, we was approached by the Mayor Carpenter to bring a copy of the Gloucester program over here. But we're gonna be better because we got a Stairway to Recovery. We already doing that. So they agree, and we launched the program February 29. And since then, we have placed 41 members.
Already?
Already.
And in 2 months, they've successfully placed 41 people into treatment. They're batting 100%. Every single person who's come in seeking assistance has been placed in treatment. One of the things, we're doing a few things differently than Gloucester. One is a specific outreach to veterans as part of our overall strategy to end veterans homelessness. But also, under Corin's guidance, we're also doing follow-up. We're not just sending people off to a detox so that they leave in 4 days and relapse and keep going around and around and around. So we're actually following up with people and encouraging them to continue on to treatment, supporting them, I guess would be a better phrase, in continuing to seek longer-term treatment that we know is the best path to recovery. And do you have even a guess, Corin, like what percentage of people that we've helped have actually agreed to more treatment than just a detox?
Well, we probably made contact with actual personal contact with 85% of the 41. So,
yeah, and
which
almost
is
all agreed to
tremendous.
stay in treatment.
Bill, I'm sorry, but I
That's
had to
okay.
bring Peggy over here.
Peggy,
because
yeah.
Peggy,
Come on,
she
Peggy.
has been the key
Yeah.
player in the championship.
Come on, Peggy.
Come on, Peggy.
Come on, Peggy.
She don't like too much attention, but we need to thank Peggy because
So Peggy,
whatever
turn around.
she
Tell a
doesn't
story, Peggy.
find,
Meet you.
Thank you, good to see you, Peggy.
she
Tell a story,
dig,
Peggy.
she dig on the ground to find place for the champion. She's the one who has every resources in Massachusetts. She's whatever she can find. I don't think nobody else can
Beautiful.
find.
Peggy.
So we were excited when the mayor approached Afraid, all of the peers, to help. It's a chance to get people to go into longer term. Most people go and they'll do 4 or 5 days in detox and then feel better and leave. The mayor and Corin's plan was that we would follow up people after 72 hours, 1 week. And we have over 3/4 of the people that have come through are still in long-term treatment right now. And those that
Which
are
is an
not-
amazing percentage,
Absolutely.
an amazing percentage. One of the challenges we've been facing is this constant merry-go-round. You hear stories of people with dozens of detox. And so one of the things, and this is really one of the key elements of the program, and this is what Stairway to Recovery brought to us, was peer support, people in recovery supporting people in recovery. And really, they deserve a lot of the credit with Corin, but to think that 3/4 of the people that have walked into a police station asking for help are still in treatment and continuing into long-term treatment, it's very early, but the results so far, I think, have exceeded our wildest hopes.
Now, can one of the peers talk to us?
We have 2 peers in the
Okay,
back.
come on up. See, we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
They got
Come on
the
up.
switch.
Come on up.
Yeah.
Come on up. Talk
This
about
is the
Got it.
teacher for champion.
what you do.
What we do here at Stairway Recovery, we provide like a safe haven for those in recovery, like those who are really committed and dedicated to their recovery. And what we would do is we provide every resource that we have available, and we let them know like the pathways to recovery they can choose, which we're not like, we do not discriminate whether it's NA or AA or spiritual or meditation or whatever it may be. We try to do what we can to assist those in recovery. So
One of
that's
the
a
keys,
very
I
good
think, Senator, was that these folks were already here doing this work, and this is one of the things we've been able to do is to parlay some of the state funding. So there's some DPH funding that helps to support this program, but now look at the tremendous return we're getting on the investment here with this incredible work that's being done by the volunteers. And I should mention to folks, so within about, maybe it was 2 weeks after I became mayor, I had my first chance to meet the senator as mayor when you brought the drug czar of the United States down to Taunton as part of your initiative in addressing the overdose crisis. And we had a great conversation that day, and we've had many, many conversations since. And so when I was in DC recently and told the senator about what we were doing with the Champion Plan, he told me the next time he was home he was going to come down and see what it was all about. And I didn't really think he would do it, but he called and came down to see it. So Senator, we really appreciate your leadership on this issue and your commitment and the fact that you were willing to come down here today and take a look at it with your own eyes, and we appreciate it.
And we thank you.
Well, the mayor was in my office in Washington 2 weeks ago, so is this fast enough? He told me how great the program was and how, much of a model it could be for the whole country. So you tell us a little bit about the program. What's your name?
Mary Lou.
Mary Lou.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
I was supposed to say that we provide hope and that recovery is real, pretty much, basically, and everything that Wayne said, he's pretty much back to everything that is.
So, and how many years have you been doing this?
Well, I've been with Stairway for about 1.5 years, so I've been doing this pretty much for a long time, because I've been in dual diagnosis, so I've been doing both.
I see. And how about you, sir? How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing this for about 1.5 years here at Stairway.
Yeah, beautiful.
So these is a matter of putting these elements together. So we have these very committed folks here at Stairway who really are providing the connection. And Corin and I have been able to establish relationships with all of the major treatment centers in the area that are working as hard as they can to work with us in getting a bed when we need a spot for somebody. And that piece has worked out really well. But another big piece of this is changing the perception of the public of the police department and the role of the police in this fight against opiates. And it's also police officers' attitudes and approaches changing towards how we're going to best address this crisis also. And when you and I were talking about this a little over 2 years ago, we were just deploying Narcan on all our first responders. We were the first city that had police, fire, and EMS all carrying Narcan. And so now, 2 years later, you've got police officers, many who have saved multiple lives, administering Narcan. And so now it's not just about arresting people. We have police officers who are carrying Narcan and saving lives, and now changing the viewpoint of the police station as being a place that you can seek assistance. So there's a lot of benefits to this at a lot of different levels. But the main thing is that 41 people are in treatment today that would not have been 2 months ago.
And the program only started
just about 60 days ago?
60 days.
February 29th.
Yeah.
February 29th.
And
So
those are 41 lives that could be in jeopardy but for the program that you're now actually increasing in terms of the accessibility.
and 3/4 of whom are remaining into longer-term treatment, which is one of the big challenges. So,
So it's incredible,
Yeah.
incredible. So, so as the mayor said back a little bit more than 2 years ago, I had my first summit in Taunton.
right.
And on that day in Taunton, when I brought the drug czar of the United States to Taunton, while we were in the fire station, the alarm went off, overdose on Main Street, and the engines had to leave the fire station even as we're having the summit. And that was kind of the kickoff to me of the efforts that I was going to make to try to change the way people viewed this issue. And even then, you were telling me, the mayor of Taunton was telling me, that fentanyl was beginning to show up in some of these deaths, and that the treatment beds weren't there, that the programs weren't in place. And so this is the beginning of a revolution, and it's happening here in Brockton, where we no longer say, how are we going to incarcerate our way out of the problem? It's how can we treat our way out of the problem. And you've got the police department not incarcerating, but treating these patients. And it's
I should make clear though, Senator, we are still arresting drug dealers.
No, and I appreciate that.
As many of those as we can. We've doubled our number of search and entry warrants. So for people that are trafficking in large amounts of narcotics, we are putting them in jail, but you're right. But we're trying to approach this from both supply and demand. Right. And we know we can save lives by getting people into treatment.
On behalf of Chief Michael Williams and Deputy Chief Scott Albanese, I'd like to introduce the newest members of the Brockton Fire Department. These firefighters are working hard to promote Governor Charlie Baker's program, State Without Stigma. Please help us and the rest of the Brockton Fire Department to extinguish the stigma of substance abuse.
We call out Brewster Ambulance Company to help us promote the State Without Stigma campaign.